This is the 217 Recovery Podcast with Corey Winfield and his better half, Marnie Winfield.
But they might be talking to you, but they're walking right over to the coffee. Kind of like my cat. When I do a podcast, she just walks across the keyboard. Mm-hmm. Kind of the same thing.
On a mission.
Yeah, she is. Anyway, sorry. Should we start this over?
If you want to.
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay.
It is the 28th of August, 2021. My name is Corey Winfield.
My name is Marnie Winfield.
And this is the 217 Recovery Podcast. Welcome. We talk about stuff that's happening in our lives, and it relates to recovery. Some say it provides hope, inspiration. Some say they can relate to it. A lot of family members listen. For people who have family members with addiction issues. Mm-hmm. Hi, there's Speak of the Devil, and she shall walk right across my keyboard.
Famous Nico.
Yeah, she's in the studio.
Making her presence known.
She loves listening to the podcast. She, besides my mom, probably number one fan of the podcast.
Yeah, definitely.
Yes. So, Marnie, we did the last podcast a little deep. Mm-hmm. We went deep with it, and we shared some things that we were going through, and it was tough. It really was.
It was good.
I had a few people reach out and say they were sorry, and that for us to hang in there. Mm-hmm. So keep plugging away, Corey. I was like, all right.
Well, thank you guys.
Yeah, we do appreciate it for sure. But now, time, days, lives, they move on. Mm-hmm. And you kind of were getting back in the swing of things today on your professional level.
Yeah. Yeah, I took some time for myself, and today was my first day back at work, and I missed it. I had missed it some. So I like working with the people I work with, and, the clients and stuff. It's I do what I do because I love it, and I love helping people.
And you love getting out of the house. I could tell you're itching this morning.
Yeah.
Like,
I had my badge on.
Can I hang out with this guy again today? No, I'm out of here.
No.
You're like, what are your plans today? I was like, is this a trick question? I'm like, I don't know. You tell me. Is there something I'm missing?
Right. No. Well, it's kind of cool. Like I'm a manager of a lot of houses. I have, clients that I oversee. And it's kind of cool when you run into them again after only been gone for not very long. And it's well received, You're like, they're like, where are you? Where have you been? Because they don't know, but it's like they missed me. Kind of cool.
That is cool. I'm glad you're back in the swing of things.
Yeah.
Until you needed it. Mm-hmm. I met with a lady, sort of, on the phone the other day. Her name's Patty, and she's from the Salvation Army. And I just called. That's one of the people that we used to work with back in my radio days. And I just started making those connections again. Okay, it's COVID's over, and COVID really threw a wrench into a lot of things that we wanted to do. And it was just like, wait a minute, hold on, wait, what? Okay, got to get back into things, and reaching out to different organizations and being a part of stuff that they're doing. It lets you connect, it lets you network, and you hear about other things going on, and that was something that I did in my early recovery that really kind of helped. I would donate my time when I could at the food bank, and you just meet a bunch of cool people that are working there or volunteering there. Mm-hmm. And some are working there too, but stuff like that giving back that really creates the sense of purpose that I would suggest anybody in early recovery go do. Sure, you can go to the casino. You can do that right on your phone. I can't even, I can log on to Yahoo without the betting stuff pop up, but it does. And, instead of doing those things that distract you and that are easy distractions, distract yourself first. Take the time to seek things out. And that's what a lot of people say with, well, what are you doing in your recovery? Are you working for it? Where you're just sitting back doing whatever, what are you hitting a meeting a week, which some people, that's cool. some people it's not even meetings. Some people it's, connecting with other people. And are you doing that once a week? Well, what about twice a week? If you find yourself slipping or heading off in the wrong direction, you got to check yourself. You're the only one that can do it. So, check yourself and find different things that you can do to create that purpose. And that's what I did. It seems to be working all right. Mm-hmm. For me.
Yeah. I mean, and it's crazy because COVID put a wrench in everything. Mm-hmm. The whole world was just off, and it's still kind of iffy, and things are not, who knows if they'll ever get back to normal. But I remember even like those organizations actually practically shut down. Mm-hmm. Like we have several agencies in the area that, they wouldn't even accept volunteers because of COVID. They weren't doing the community meals. They weren't doing their food banks were closed down completely for a while. And then they managed to figure out how to do it, carefully. But that took a long time to get back in order. And it's crazy. I mean, so now it is nice. And now, things are kind of starting to move smoothly again.
Yeah. We were talking about different things that they need. And one of the things that they do is COVID. Obviously, you just mentioned, I mentioned too, but they would have the food bank. It was open a couple times a week where people could just come and kind of stock up on groceries. COVID changed that where they had to kind of do it outside. And now it's more of like almost like a farmer's market, mm-hmm. Where you just come and select your groceries and stuff like that. And she said that Meijer has been a huge help. And I told her that I saw that Meijer was doing it's like a food drive, and it's going through October 2nd. But today was a big day because if you donated $10, Meijer would double match it. So Meijer would throw in a 20. So, and that all goes to here in Traverse City anyway, the Salvation Army. Mm-hmm. So I thought that was very cool. And we talked about that, and, props to Meijer for helping with that, and props to Walmart too, because they support people in recovery, as we found out.
Yeah.
So big thanks to Walmart for that support. Really do appreciate it. And those companies that do stuff like that, sure, there's some, if you want to take like a Costco, not so much. But, they give to United Way, they write the check and just kind of move on. But people at Meijer and people at Walmart seem to, it's a little bit more friendly. It
gets the community involved.
Mm-hmm. And
it's not just Meijer cutting a check. They're making the need known and recognized. And then, people from their own community are donating their own money. So it goes, and then they match or double it, like you said today, but it's a lot of money, and they do a lot of different things.
Mm-hmm. Of course, I jokingly say when I walk in there, I'm like, well, of course they should help us out. They put the liquor right there.
I know.
You walk in the door, you're like, oh, geez.
Grocery stores are bad.
That's their jobs to sell things. And
I know.
But it's cool that they do help out, and we do appreciate all the support we get from them. And Bell Tire, we got new tires. Mm-hmm. On one of the vehicles, and they hooked us up. So big thanks to Bell Tire and my man George. Got us a sweet deal on those tires. So we're mentioning things. Hey, I haven't mentioned the event that's coming up on the 18th of September.
Not on the podcast.
Mm-mm. Well, Ray said he was going to send me a flyer, and then I hear you go, oh, here's the flyer. I was like, what? And it's so cute because they have 217 Recovery Pod Space Cast. Oh, that's so cute. Podcast is one word, but that's cool though, man, that they even put us on there and that they even thought to reach out to us and ask us if we would want to be a part of it. Mm-hmm. It's in Southwest Michigan. It's going to be in St. Joe at a place called Carol's Hope. And I've never been to Carol's Hope. I know where it's at. But I've had family members go there, mm-hmm. and it's a good place. A friend, Dustin, had been there, I guess. But it's a good place where people can go where you're not going to get kicked out. Like if you're waiting to go to detox, mm-hmm. and the hospitals, nope, tell you to leave. Carol's Hope, you can kind of go there and they'll set you up and get you into treatment. And it's a place you can stay while you do that. So it's pretty cool. I've heard great things about it, and I can't wait to meet the people. I've talked to, I think her name was Vanessa.
They were at the Pawpaw event, weren't they?
No.
I think there was somebody there from there.
Oh, yeah. We talked to a lady. Yeah, because we talked to her for quite a bit. Yeah. But like they weren't like set up like we were.
No.
That's what I thought you meant, but no. So looking forward to it. Again, that's the 18th of September, Southwest Michigan, St. Joe. And I like the way they're doing it too, because it's, what do you say, 11 to 3 or something like that. It's just perfect. It's not going to be too crazy. We're going to get there, and especially after what we did in Pawpaw, you're going to be like, geez, like we came all the way down here for a few hours. But I think you'll be relieved too. And the last event that I went to was a couple years ago down there, and it was held in St. Joe as well. And it was put on by Riverwood. And Riverwood is connected with this one too. So that's awesome. And it's actually the recovery coaches of Southwest Michigan who are actually putting it on. And it's sponsored by Riverwood and Carol's Hope. But it was a picnic, recovery picnic, and man, it was just cool. A lot of people came out. There was some cool speakers from Detroit, Chicago. But this one is going to have, it's kind of like a little bit everybody in recovery. And not really in recovery, but everybody who has a hand in recovery.
Right.
There's going to be a senator there. Sheriff Paul Bailey's going to be there, which is interesting.
There's a judge too, right?
Yeah, that's the senator.
Oh.
And Paul Bailey was the man who I used to record back in my young radio days. He would come in and do the Crime Stoppers commercials. So that'll be interesting to see him again. I don't know how that's going to go, but I do want to talk to him, because the last time I sent him an email, it was about how bad his jail was and the neglect that was going on in there. And so I'm going to talk to him about that too. And that's why when I was talking to Ray, I was like, well, does he support recovery? And he's like, oh, yeah. Paul Bailey is a huge advocate of not sending people to jail, but getting them help. I was like, oh, well, let's talk to him about it, because I can't wait. Because I want to see what his plans are, what he's doing. And obviously if he's showing up, then he's on board with it. I've just been gone from Southwest Michigan for so long, I don't really know what's going on. I know I was sent to treatment. Of course, I was on probation, and that was kind of more through Riverwood, because they sent me there, and I thought for sure, oh, they're just going to make me do outpatient again, because that's when I was under the impression that it's all about money, man. They all want money. I'm just going to be stuck doing outpatient again. This isn't going to help. With outpatient, it really did help. It was just a little bit at a time, because I'm so stubborn. I'm going to do it my way. So, yeah, we'll talk to Paul Bailey and we'll see what's going on. But speaking of all about the money, there was a time, and I think just recently it kind of dawned on me, like, why I thought it was all about the money. It's because when I went to rehab for the first time, I went to California. It was it was hell. Yeah.
That
50.
bad.
Oh my gosh. It was real bad. Just the whole process of it. But then when I get there, lady doing my intake's like, okay, well, what meds are you on? And I was like, none. She's like, well, we're going to need to get you on something. I was like, huh? She's like, yeah. That way your insurance will pay. Dual diagnosis. What? I was, So I made sure when I saw the psychiatrist that I played it up to, oh man, there's nothing wrong with me, man. Nope, not depressed at all. Nope, don't think about any of that stuff. Nah, man, I just
in spite.
Yep, just to put the alcohol. Apparently I drank a little too much one time, and yeah,
One time.
Yeah. The doctors gave me the wrong pill, and that shut my liver down. Had nothing to do with drinking half gallons. No. Yep. I'm good to go. Thanks. And he was like, yeah, you don't need to be on any psych meds. Okay, dude. Yeah. It was just, and just seeing that scene and how it was like, next, and I thought, man, this is all about the money. And I just assumed that everybody was the same way. But no, there are people that do it for a living, and they come in at 9, they leave at 5, and that's good. there's also people like us who are in recovery who take it very, very personal. Mm-hmm. And like you said earlier, that you want to help people, you know, and those people are the ones that I found made a big difference in my journey going to treatment, you know, and there's nothing wrong with the other people. You know, my therapist now, she's not in recovery, but she just lets me talk.
Right.
And I've figured things out usually on my own, which is a really good way to go. But, so yeah, not everybody has to be in recovery, you know, but for me personally, it really made a difference. Mm-hmm. So that's where the whole money thing came in. And I just realized that I think when I was one of my last trips with somebody that I was taking to treatment, because I was telling them my experience with it, and it dawned on me, and I was like, yeah, I think that's when I went down that negative way of thinking. Mm-hmm. And that kind of screwed me up for a bit, because when people would try to help me, I wouldn't believe them. I'd be like, yeah, all right, man.
Yeah.
Do you ever have an experience like that?
I've had people say, like, you're just doing your job, but in the way that they're saying it is like, you're not really putting thought into this. You're just doing what you have to do. You're just doing your job. Like, I wouldn't do it otherwise, because unless it was something that I was getting paid for, which is totally not true. So that stuff kind of like burns a little bit, but it's few and far between. Usually people can recognize if you're a sincere person and you're actually, like, you know, involved and invested in what you're doing. In this profession in general, people don't do it to make money. So that in itself is kind of a key factor of knowing that you're there for the reasons that are beyond dollar bills.
Mm-hmm. And I've had people say, well, and this one guy, this was a few weeks ago too, he said something, and he said it came out wrong, but I was like, what? Because he said something like, well, you're doing this because you're making money. I was like, huh? I was like, dude, technically I am making money, because personally my cell phone is paid for through the company. So technically there's my paycheck. It's my pay phone, or it's my cell phone. Mm-hmm. I haven't taken a dime as far as like, hey, you drove this guy, you did this. For me, it goes back to the company. Mm-hmm. Like whatever is billed for the services for that, it goes to the company. I don't take a dime yet. Right. But I would like to one day, you know. And I was talking with Patty about this, Patty from the Salvation Army, who I mentioned earlier. I told her that, yeah, I'm a recovery coach. People call me, I talk to them. And I don't think it's wrong for people to be recovery coaches and get paid for it. Personally, I just can't do it. And if I worked for an organization who's like, hey, you make, let's just throw a number out, you make $40,000 a year. Your job's recovery coach. You come in at 8 and you leave at 4:30 and have a good day. Or even just, hey man, when your phone rings, you answer it. You make $40,000 a year. Okay. I mean, I answer the phone all the time, you know, like right now. I wouldn't have a problem with that, but it's like, oh, all right. Well, how much should I make this week? I should call Tyrone, see how he's doing, so I can bill those hours. You see what I'm saying? Like,
right.
Just start calling. Oh, I'm going to call Eric and see what he's doing, because I gotta, you know, I can call Eric today, Tyrone, Ben. How much is my car payment? Okay, cool. So let's figure all this out. And that's who I need to call today, because I need to, you know, like, I'm sure it doesn't happen that way, but for me, it would feel like that. And that's just a personal thing. I think people who work in recovery or recovery coaches should get paid. Hell yeah. Doctors getting paid, therapists getting paid, treatment centers getting paid. Why not? You know, you're helping people. And like I had just said earlier, those are the people that I connected with the most, the people that had been through it, the people that were in recovery. So I think they should probably make more. Throwing that out there. Mm-hmm. But personally, I just would have a hard time, and I would feel like, oh man, I'm not even writing that down. He just called me to check in because he was having a hard time, or he had a question about this or that, and had to kind of give them the right info, or maybe I had to look up some stuff online. Yeah, it took me a couple hours, but it's my job.
Right.
You know, and I think if you're getting a flat salary for it, that'd be straight. But, you know, to kind of, I don't know.
Well, but here's the catch, though. There's nothing wrong. People get into doing recovery coaching as their profession because they want to do it all the time. And people need, as a human being living on this earth, we have financial responsibilities. So to make a profession out of it, to have that be your job, it makes sense. But then on the flip side, at least how I look at it, and this is where I see what you're saying, is there something to be said when you're not doing something out of the goodness of your heart and not expecting anything back for it.
Right.
Like a paycheck. So when you're, you know, you're saying, I want to call this person and check on them because I sincerely am wondering how they're doing, and I'm not going to submit something to Blue Cross Blue Shield or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, it's there's a different feel to it. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with recovery coaches getting paid for their job. I agree with you because you have to to survive in the world. And so, but I see what you're saying.
Because if it was just hey, this is my office, here's where I go, or even, my phone rings later on in the night and I need to make some notes on a person's file. Okay, cool. I get it. But it's just, like it's the whole, hey, I can call 6 people today. I can just keep calling this dude every single day and make this, you know, and
what about like teachers, you know? Like, I like helping kids learn. I like help teaching kids, you know, and grow and experience new things and get smart and knowledge. And I'm going to be a teacher. What are you going to do? Teachers just not going to get paid? You know, so.
Yeah. Well, because I like helping kids. All right, cool. Thanks for that.
Yeah, right.
Well, I don't know. I don't know if that's a good comparison, but.
No, I'm just saying that's why people choose the professions that they choose. Hopefully, to do something that they find joy in and that that fulfills them in some way. But we had the whole podcast on why people have jobs that they have that don't make sense.
Porn actors and
I
actresses.
think you're talking about foot doctors and who knows what.
Gynecologists or something. I think I was. Because I said I would never be one. It's a horrible job. Those people need to make more money. For real. And hold on. I'm not saying, it's just sometimes I think it'd be a little scary. Not every time is going to be like, oh, it's beautiful today. Oh, look, I'm going to work today. I'm a gynecologist. Yeah. No, I think that would ruin me. Only women should do that job. More women should do that job. More women should do all jobs, and they should get paid twice as much as men.
Is that how you're going to get into Congress?
I was thinking that would be a platform that I could run on, I think. And they'd still have me going, what the hell? That son bitch, he's so stupid, he wants to pay women twice as much as men. Uh-huh. Nothing wrong with that, homie. I want my wife making cheddar. She's a breadwinner. See, and that's the thing. Like, women make the rules anyway.
Do you think that's true?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh, trust me. There's things I wanted to do. And I'm like, oh, no. Better check with wifey on that one.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Like what?
All kinds of things.
Like what?
Like just everything.
Everything now? Give me one example. Not to put you on the spot or anything.
I'm going to go, hold on, let me pull up a recent example in my brain.
You're saying you don't do it because you feel like I would say no?
Yes.
Why are you looking at me
not
like
that you would
that's the
say
right
no,
answer?
but then I would just hear about it later.
That is so not true.
And you would let me know that that's not acceptable. Like, for example, you called it a bachelor's bed. with the sheets that I wanted to buy and the comforter that I wanted to buy. I thought it looked great. Nice thread count. Looked tight. You're like, if you're single.
Did you just say that word? It looked tight?
It did.
So like if you're having a home that you want like black and silver silk sheets.
They weren't silk, but yeah. I don't know. This office looks tight. No?
No.
Does it need more flowers and stuff?
No, absolutely not.
Bigger TV is what it needs. And there is another example. Bigger TV.
We only have one size apartment, and they just keep getting bigger TV, bigger.
I know. Isn't it awesome? I want one in the bathroom. And not one of those mirror ones. I want one like just right across from me. But I think you have to buy a special kind. Maybe the outside kind. Those are real expensive. Because, it fogs up and stuff. Just sharing my dreams.
Literally, you can stand in our apartment and see another TV from standing where TVs are in the other room.
It's because Jesus loves me and you. He wants us to have nice things.
You try to change the channel on one TV, and if the other TV's on, it will change that TV's channel.
There was once when I didn't have a TV. It's nice. Nico likes her TV too. Yeah. But see, this time, though, that's not really Nico's TV. And she watches the one in the office more than anything.
You're making it sound like there's all these things that I hold you back from doing, though. It's totally not even true.
I'm just saying, like, men, we know.
And that bedsheet thing was like when we first got this apartment, like a year and a half ago.
Oh, but you let me know. Don't order that. That's my job.
What was this to let you get it and then be mean about it?
Yeah, you would have made me send it back.
Because they were awful.
They were not awful. No, they were not. Anyway, that's besides the point. I don't even know what we were talking about.
Man,
Thank you. But recovery's fun. I don't know. Just throw that out there. It's back on track. I have no idea what we were talking about. But I had a point to it, and there you go. Thanks.
Okay.
I'm going to bill you for that. Hold on. Let me see how many points I made on the show today. It's about 1,700. Big day tomorrow.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, don't see.
Draft. Fantasy football.
I know, but it took you a minute.
It did.
Big day Monday. Mm-hmm. 2-year anniversary for somebody.
Yes, it is.
I'm going to do a special.
No, I don't need a special.
Well, Jamie Kelly said he wants to be on the podcast because he hit his 6th month, and he's like, "You told me when I got 6 months I could be on again."
Oh, there you go.
All right. But he's on Tuesday, so that's what I'm saying. And tomorrow is your replay. Mm-hmm. So maybe we would play your year. See how I asked you that? Mm-hmm. But I really want to do it.
Okay.
But I'm still asking.
That's fine.
Suggesting.
I'm fine with that.
That you suggest it. Maybe we do that. I don't know.
Let's do that.
You had your year clean. But no, tomorrow, yeah, fantasy football draft. It's Christmas for me.
Yeah.
And then I saw the fantasy footballers, the fantasy footballers podcast. They hooked us up with the draft kits, which I don't think you looked at, which gives you all kinds of info. But be careful where you get your info. But anyway, they sent out an email today saying Christmas is almost here, and talking about how people do compare that to Christmas. I'm like, yes, I do. It is my Christmas. Like Christmas morning when I wake up, I'm like, And a lot of times I've already given you a lot of the gifts anyway, so it's like, But fantasy football, I couldn't even sleep last night. I was thinking about it.
So are you going to have like a draft crash after?
That's why we go to Buffalo Wild Wings and meet up with the guys.
Okay.
And, well, you're the girl.
So you're not going to be all like sad when it's over?
Oh, didn't you hear me say the other day? I'm like, fantasy football season's almost over. It'll be over soon. Snow will be on the ground. Actual Christmas will be here.
You don't even have your team yet.
Fantasy football will be over.
So basically,
live in the now. Live in the now.
There's like a window of how long do the drafts usually take?
Oh, should I make it longer?
No, just saying. What is it, like 20 something minutes?
Nah, longer than that, because we get a minute, and I change it to like a minute 15 per person. Some people will take the whole minute 15.
Okay.
So 15 rounds of that, 12 people. Take a minute.
That window of time is like the peak of your year.
Oh my God, it's so good. No, it's just a build up. And see, before it was pretty cool because we know our draft positions. You're picking 6th. I'm picking 10th. Tyrone has number 1 pick. But normally how it would work was the league voted, but normally you don't find out where you're drafting until 30 minutes before. So it's just like that Christmas, like, what am I getting? What am I getting? Where am I drafting? What if I pick 1st? What if I pick 6th? What if I pick, oh man, I hope I don't get 12th. Well, if I get 12th, what am I going to do? And you just run through all these scenarios and you're just like, and then you find out, I'm picking that. And you're like, You're either relieved that, I'm not last, or, I'm not 1st. Some people want 1st.
You chose that you wanted to know, though.
No, I voted for no. I voted that we do.
Really?
Yep.
Oh, for some reason, I thought that you.
No, and then Justin changed his, but by 1 vote, Dan cast the last vote.
Tip the scale.
Yep. Because if it would have tied, I'd have been like, all right, I win. I'm the commissioner. And I thought, I should just win anyway because I'm the commissioner. But I thought, you know what? These guys voted this way. And it was funny because all the newer people voted to, let's just find out 30 minutes before. And you had a good point that the people that have played, it's going to give us an advantage. Mm-hmm. But I kind of weighed that out as well. It's also going to give you an advantage. You know, so as much advantage as it's going to give me, it's going to give you just as much. So, I mean, it just takes away the fun.
How was that, though? Because I don't do the research.
It's like opening presents on Christmas
How
Eve.
many mock drafts do you think you've done, honestly?
Today?
No, since you've been preparing, since you've been mock draft training. Hundreds.
I think I started in June.
I bet you hundreds.
No, I'd say under 15.
No way. You've done like 4 a day before. Yes, you have. How many have you done today?
Well, this last one I did doesn't count, sort of. But that was my 4th one today? 3rd one.
And you're saying you've done less than 15 since June? Mm-hmm. That is so
Well, I don't do them every day. Well, now I do because it's draft tomorrow. Anyway, see the fun that we're having in recovery. I mean, it's the trying new things, you know, and you're trying. I mean, obviously you played last year, but
no, I'm excited that this brings you so much joy.
Mm-hmm. I'm excited that you did a couple mock drafts today. Well, you've done a couple mock drafts, not today, but you know that you're kind of like, hey, you know, this is this guy, and you keep asking me about guys, and I'm like, I don't know, I'm not going to tell you the truth, so you might want to look at it yourself. And I'll give you a little bit of advice, which I did with a couple of receivers, because I know that there's a strategy that you have. Hope it works out for you. And I was like, hey, this is a strategy that you have. You might want to look into this. You know, so I'll give you that kind of advice. But yeah, if you want to find out who sucks, and if I don't know, if you throw out a name and I really hate him, I'm like, oh, that guy sucks, because it's just natural. But I try not to.
No, I think it'll be fun. I don't expect to win at all, but I think it's fun still because I'm going to pick people that I like to watch.
Any Lions fans that you're targeting, or Lions fans? Any Lions players? You should pick the fans. They probably score you more points.
I don't think so. I don't think I have any Lions.
Any teams you're avoiding?
Not particularly, no.
No? Okay, well, thanks. That's Marnie's Fantasy Minute here on the 217 Recovery Podcast.
I'm just saying, uninformed, like, decision-making, me sharing that, it just makes me look stupid. So might as well just be like, I don't really know what I'm doing, and I think it'll still be fun. I know some names, and I can read their stats and stuff.
There's a huge injury today. I'm so excited about it. And not that I'm excited for the guy that got injured, but I hope nobody knows about it. Because it's like a sneaky one. I'm not saying.
Okay.
But it's going to change the way I draft because I'm going to get this guy later. People are going to be like, damn it. Thanks for listening to the 217 Recovery Podcast. Football talk. Really do appreciate you listening. Now, check out the replay tomorrow. We'll be back, guys. And on Tuesday, Jamie Kelly will be on. And we'll have him tell a little bit of a story this time.
Yeah.
And hopefully it doesn't go too nuts. Or maybe hopefully he does. Mm-hmm. We'll see. But at least he's sober this time.
Right.
So do appreciate that. But thanks for listening and have a great rest of your day.
Night, everybody.
Thanks for listening to another episode of the 217 Recovery Podcast. Listen on the 217 Recovery app. Download the app and rate us in your app store.